Alright, so second video today because although I'm young, I'm not great with cell phones. So I started the video and then paused it and then proceeded to talk for however long and then realized I only recorded for like 12 seconds. So I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about being your authentic self. And that kind of also goes into diving into who you are, those two ideas. Because I think being your authentic self, the person that you feel in your heart that you want to be, and etc. Although that doesn't have to be the final step or the I guess the end result, it can at least be a step along the way. If it truly isn't your end result and you're wrong, say you're wrong and it isn't what was meant to be, then at least it was a step along that path to get into who you are. And if you're not being your authentic self, you're always it's just gonna be illusion. Your life is just gonna be an illusion. And you're really not gonna feel the full range and the full whatever. Happiness, sadness, everything that goes along with life. It's just a fraction of what your life could be. So that was the one, be your authentic self. And the second, dive into who you are. There's similar topics, but they're slightly different. Because diving into who you are, right? That kind of goes into the shadow, and I'm not going to really speak about that right now, but basically there's parts of us we reject or hide or don't acknowledge or whatever it may be. And that will always hold you back as a human being. And again, if there are things holding you back in life, you will not be the entire version of yourself you can be, and you will not feel that happiness, the full happiness you can feel, the full excitement, the full, even the sadness and the quote unquote negative parts on life. In reality, it's just a part of life, and it's the lens you look at it that dictates your emotions and feelings and whatever. I also hate breaking down that into super simple terms because people really don't like that you just tell them that their sadness is just a whatever social construct or an idea in their head or whatever that they choose, that basically that people choose that, essentially. I don't know. I don't know why, but I keep talking about what's best for you, and well, in my opinion, what's best for me and the average person or somebody with above average awareness, consciousness, and whatever you want to say. I keep talking about what's best for people like that, or just the average person or the average human, because that's what I want. Because the alternative is what's best for the powers that be, the government, the whatever, the rich. Because those two ideas can blend, obviously, but it's rare. Like that sort of symbiotic relationship where you're getting exactly what you want and the government's getting exactly what they want. And obviously you're not going to get exactly what you want, but more so where the scale is balanced rather than, we'll say, the employer taking advantage of the employee and the employee taking advantage of the employer, because Either way, know that shit doesn't fly. The symbiotic relationship, the balance. So for the average person, if you're watching this, you need to keep both of those things in mind when you're determining who your authentic self is. Or, yeah, I don't even think you determine. I think you discover it. So in discovering who you authentically are, that idea might clash with the societal norm or family norm or whatever it may be. That's fine. If you're walking that path, though, yeah, you can always get off and you can go back to whatever, but it's the funny thing about awareness is that you can't give it back. Once you get it, it's there. Anything that you tell yourself that opposes your level of awareness is a lie, and you're living a lie. Which makes it tough. And that's one of the videos I talked about how drugs are for old people, because it can be overwhelming to have high levels of awareness when you're young. High levels of conscientiousness or consciousness when you're young. However, if you can make it, if you can carry that cross, carry the heaviest burden you can, which in my opinion, for a lot of people, it's awareness, raising your awareness, or responsibility, either the two, taking on responsibility and raising your awareness. By doing those two things, you test yourself. You find purpose. And you're a little less bored of life. You become a little busy, you know, a little busy bee. I heard a quote that said, work is used on smart people in order to control them. So think of somebody like Elon Musk, Kanye West. Their work is their life. It affects all their relationships with their family, whether it be spouses, significant others, children, whatever, parents. By getting to the level they're at, you don't have a choice but to work. Because everything else is boring. You don't get that same effect. That's when you see a dookie. That's when you see a lot of people turn to drugs to replace that or to ignore that purpose, to ignore their awareness. So be your authentic self. Dive into who you are. Raise your awareness. Introspection. Talk to close friends and family. I think by doing those things, it makes things easier. It makes life easier. By making it harder, you make it easier. I've quit drinking. countless times. Right? And part of the reason I really have told myself in the past I should outright not touch it is because it's easier to tell yourself that you're never going to touch it opposed to moderation. That it's actually harder for you in your daily life to determine in what ways you will consume something like alcohol or marijuana or whatever. So yeah, raise your awareness. Be your authentic self. Dive into who you are. Let's get it.